Louis Vuitton decided to become a trunk master at the age of 16, a choice that would not only alter his own life, but also the lives of his sons and future generations. Louis Vuitton was a French clothes designer and tycoon who lived from August 4, 1821 to February 27, 1892. He was the creator of the leather goods company Louis Vuitton, which is today owned by LVMH. He had previously served as the Empress Eugénie de Montijo, the wife of Napoleon III, trunk maker. The story of Louis Vuitton started almost 2 centuries ago, as Vuitton was born into a farming, carpentry, and artistic family. His mother, a hat maker, passed away when he was 10 years old, and his father, not long after. At the age of 13, he fled home. He arrived in Paris by foot in 1837, right as the Industrial Revolution was getting underway. He worked as an apprentice for prominent trunk maker and packer Monsieur Marichal. Within a few years, Vuitton established a reputation among Paris' more affluent elite as one of the capital's leading artisans. Napoleon III engaged Vuitton to work as the Empress of France's personal trunk maker and packer upon the restoration of the French Empire. He was accused of packed the most gorgeous clothes in an amazing style, according to her. As a result, Vuitton had a gateway to other elite and royal clients who provided him with work for the rest of his career. Vuitton married 16-year-old Clémence Émilie Perrose in 1854 when he was 33 years old. He soon left Marichal's business and established his own trunk-making and packaging business in Paris. However, before Vuitton established his own studio at 4 Rue Neuve des Capucines next to the Place Vendôme, he remained there for 17 years. He had a sign outside his store that read, "Pack the most delicate items safely." Concentrating on packing clothes at a time when the market only offered rounded-top leather trunks, Louis Vuitton introduced his groundbreaking rectangular canvas trunks in 1858, inspired by H.J. Cave and Sons of London. His move into a larger workshop in Asnières-sur-Seine was prompted by the demand for Vuitton's strong, lightweight designs. Damier was the initial pattern name for the shellac-embedded canvas. The first pick-proof lock in the world was also created by Vuitton. At Vuitton's workrooms, all lock designs were safely stored and registered with the owner's name in case one more key was required. Vuitton did suffer a setback in 1871, but he quickly recovered. After his last studio was abandoned and left in ruins, he acquired a new store in the heart of Paris. Vuitton created a new line in 1872 that featured beige monogram designs with a red stripe that would continue to be a trademark of his business long after his death in 1892 due to glioblastoma, a severe and aggressive brain disease. Louis Vuitton's expansion during World War I. After the death of Louis Vuitton, the management of the company passed to his son, Georges Vuitton. After his father's passing, Georges Vuitton launched an initiative to expand the business globally and displayed the company's goods at the Chicago World's Fair in 1893. The business introduced its iconic monogram canvas in 1896 and obtained global patents for it. The LV monogram and other graphic elements like caterpillars and flowers were based on the late Victorian-era fashion of employing Japanese mon motifs. Later evidence indicated that the patents were effective in preventing counterfeiting. Georges visited the United States that year, touring places like New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago while promoting Vuitton goods. The steamer bag, a compact piece of luggage made to fit within Vuitton trunks, was introduced by the Louis Vuitton Company in 1901. After some years, Champs-Élysées, the Louis Vuitton building was inaugurated in 1913. At the time, it was the biggest retailer of travel accessories worldwide. As World War I got underway, shops also started popping up in New York, Bombay, Washington, London, Alexandria, and Buenos Aires. The Keepall bag was next introduced in 1930. The No bag was introduced by LV in 1932. It was originally designed as a bottle carrier for champagne vintners. The Louis Vuitton Speedy bag was released shortly after that. Both are still manufactured today. After Georges Vuitton's passing in 1936, his son Gaston Louis Vuitton took over the company's leadership. Louis Vuitton expansion from 1945 through 2000. From little wallets and handbags to larger pieces of luggage, Louis Vuitton started using leather in the majority of its products throughout this time. The business updated its iconic monogram canvas in 1959 to make it more flexible and usable for wallets, purses, and bags in an effort to expand its portfolio. It is thought that counterfeiting began to resurface in the 1920s and became a bigger problem. continuing into the 21st century. The papillon was introduced in 1966, a cylindrical bag that is still popular today. With an annual income of up to 70 million francs, $14.27 million US, by 1977, the brand opened its first shops in Japan a year later, in Tokyo and Osaka. Later, Louis Vuitton increased its footprint in Asia by opening shops in Seoul, South Korea, and Taipei, Taiwan, respectively, in 1983 and 1984. The AP leather line debuted the year after. LVMH was founded in 1987, which marked a significant turning point for the company. Leading producers of champagne and cognac, Moët Chandon and Hennessy, respectively, teamed up with Louis Vuitton to create the luxury goods conglomerate. According to reports, profits in 1988 increased by 49% over those in 1987. Louis Vuitton eventually opened 130 boutiques globally by 1989. Yves Carcel assumed leadership of LV at the start of the 1990s, and in 1992 Louis Vuitton entered mainland China by establishing its first store in Beijing at the Palace Hotel. In 1993 and 1994, respectively, the Taiga leather line and the Voyager Avec literature collection were introduced as new products. 7 locations around the world had events to commemorate the Monogram canvas 100th anniversary in 1996. After this historical event, Marc Jacobs was appointed as Louis Vuitton's artistic director in 1997. He created and unveiled the business's first pret-a-porter line of apparel for men and women in March of the following year. The Monogram Vernis line, the LV scrapbooks, and the Louis Vuitton City Guide all debuted this year as well. The launch of the small Monogram series in 1999 marked the end of the 20th century. The year 2000 saw the debut of the first store in Africa in Marrakesh, Morocco. The vanity case AMFAR, created by Sharon Stone, was sold at an auction during the International Film Festival in Venice, Italy, with the revenues going to the Foundation for AIDS Research, also in 2000. The brand's progress from 2001 to 2011. By 2001, Steven Sprouse and Marc Jacobs had created a special collection of Vuitton bags with graffiti written over the monogram design. Graffiti on several bags included the name of the bag and the words Louis Vuitton, such as Keep All and Speedy. Only members of Louis Vuitton's VIP customer list may purchase some pieces that featured the graffiti without the monogram canvas background. In the same year, Jacobs also developed the charm bracelet, the very first item of jewelry produced by LV. On top of that, the Tambour watch line was unveiled in 2002. The LV building in Tokyo's Ginza neighborhood debuted this year, and the company worked with Bob Wilson to create the scenography for its holiday windows. Takashi Murakami and Marc Jacobs collaborated to design the new Monogram multicolored canvas line of handbags and accessories in 2003. In June 2003, the limited edition run's production was stopped. The Utah and Suali leather lines were introduced, the 20th anniversary of the LV Cup was celebrated, and the stores in Moscow, Russia, and New Delhi, India, respectively, both opened in 2003. Louis Vuitton commemorated its 150th birthday in 2004. The company also opened shops in Johannesburg, São Paulo, Mexico City, Cancun, and New York City, on Fifth Avenue. In Shanghai, it also opened its first store on a global scale. In 2005, Louis Vuitton debuted the Speedy watch line and reopened its Champs-Élysées store in Paris, which was created by American architect Eric Carlson. Also in 2008, Pharrell Williams collaborated with Louis Vuitton to create a line of jewelry called Blazon and Spectacles. Louis Vuitton opened what is referred to as their most opulent store in London in 2010. Kim Jones was hired by Louis Vuitton as its men ready-to-wear studio and style director in the beginning of 2011. He rose to the position of head menswear designer, while Marc Jacobs served as the company's artistic director. The company's Louis Vuitton Island Maison at Marina Bay Sands, Singapore, opened on September 17, 2011. 2012 to present. Darren Spaziani was appointed by the company in September 2013 to oversee its accessories line. After that, the company officially announced on November 4, 2013, that Nicolas Gasquire had been hired to take Marc Jacobs' place as artistic director of women's collections. In March 2014, Gasquire debuted his first collection for the business in Paris. Also, Edouard Schneider was appointed the head of press and public relations at Louis Vuitton on April 7, 2014, reporting to Frederick Winkler, the company's director of communications and events. In place of Kim Jones, who left for Dior on March 26, 2018, Virgil Abloh was named artistic director of menswear. He was the brand's first African-American artistic director and one of the few black designers at a significant European fashion house. During the 2018 Paris Men's Fashion Week, his inaugural show was presented in the courtyard of the famed Palais Gardens. Unfortunately, Abloh lost his battle with cardiac angiosarcoma on November 28, 2021, after fighting it secretly for 2 years. The Louis Vuitton brand. With a value of $47.2 billion, LV came in first among the top 10 most valuable luxury brands according to Brand Z in 2019. The Sola diamond, the second largest rough diamond ever discovered, was purchased by the business on January 15, 2020, from Lucara Diamond, who mined it from their mine in Botswana. Among the most valuable brands in the world are the Louis Vuitton name and the LV monogram. A 2010 Millward Brown research pegged Louis Vuitton's value at over $19 billion, making it the 19th most valuable brand in the world at the time. With a value of $24.3 billion, Louis Vuitton topped the list of the 10 most powerful brands for 6 straight years according to the Millward Brown Optimeer 2011 Brand Z survey. It was worth more than twice as much as the second-place brand. The company has been mentioned in the lyrics of songs by a number of well-known rap musicians, most notably Bohemia, Kanye West, Juicy J, and Wiz Khalifa. With around 40 offline outlets nationally, Louis Vuitton has been doing business in China for 30 years, and the nation is currently its largest market. Louis Vuitton products. The most valuable luxury brand in the world, Louis Vuitton, is a branch of LVMH. Leather goods, handbags, trunks, shoes, watches, jewelry, and accessories are among its offerings. Most of these have the LV monogram on them. With profit margins of 30%, it is among the most successful brands in the world. In 2016, Louis Vuitton released its first fragrance in 70 years, and LVMH constructed a cutting-edge fragrance factory to create the fragrances. Louis Vuitton net worth. The Louis Vuitton brand was estimated to be worth $14.86 billion in 2021. In contrast, in 2019 the brand was valued at $13.58 billion. The value of Louis Vuitton as of July 29, 2022, is $350.2 billion. Advertising campaigns. Léa Seydoux, Jennifer Lopez, Keith Richards, Kim Kardashian, Madonna, Sean Connery, Matthias Schoenaerts, Angelina Jolie, Gisele Bündchen, Mikhail Gorbachev, JO1, and David Bowie are just a few of the notable people that have appeared in Louis Vuitton advertisements. Louis Vuitton is one of the world's most popular luxury brands, and we don't expect that to change anytime soon. Every season, they are renowned to create limited edition collections, and they frequently combine with diverse artists and designers to create even more one-of-a-kind pieces. Which part of this story fascinates you? For more information like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification button.